Welcome to the Human Chats
with Brooke and Mitch.
Stop scrolling on your phone, sit on the ground, join us. We're gonna do some movement and we're gonna talk about
emotions. We'll share a bit about how we relate to our emotions, our journeys with emotions, and some tools for welcoming your emotions and normalizing conversations around them. So join us. We would love to have you.
I'm gonna lead us into our first movement. So we're gonna stand up, and from a standing position, we're going to hinge. You're gonna keep your legs locked. And if you have a lot of tightness in the back of the knee or anywhere in the hamstrings, it's okay to bend the knees just a little bit to ease that. If you can, we're gonna lock them, and we're going to tilt the pelvis up to the sky as we do so. So you should feel something along this back side, and we're just gonna hang out here.
It's a good spot to hang out. So Mitch, will you share with us a little bit about your emotional journey?
Yeah, it's I guess there's not a lot of history. It doesn't date back very far. No, as a kid growing up, I just had no clue like what emotions were and I didn't even know like what anxiety was, and that means that I had no tools. I didn't know how to handle them. I didn't know what I could do, and that was a bit of a struggle until I did learn that there's things that I can do, and that if I could get a hold of them, that a lot of things in my life would improve, like my relationships, and even like my business, and all of these aspects of my life that would greatly improve if I could understand my emotions.
Go ahead and make your way out of that one. Take a wide stance, turn the toes out slightly, find your way into Goddess Pose, as we call it in yoga. Squat deeply into the knees. Place your arms on either leg, and we'll move into some revolved motions for the shoulders. So inhale here. Exhale, drop the right shoulder into the center. Inhale, rise. Exhale, left. And continue at your own pace.
So Brooke, what has your emotional journey been like?
It has been an emotional one. As long as I can remember, I've always been a very emotional person. When I was just a little girl, I used to cry when I would see other people cry, and I felt very expressive and free in my emotions. And as I got older, to my teenage years, I was downloaded with all the messed up messages we get in this society about emotions, and I believed they were weak. I believed we don't show those in public. We have it all together. We show our best, happiest face. And if you are at all a human being listening out there, you know that that's just not the case. Go ahead and take a forward fold.
And we're gonna come down onto the floor. Have one foot in front, other foot behind you. If you notice you have space under your back hip or one of your hips, you're gonna sit down trying to erase that space. So you'll sit and come out. If you're one of those people who's really flexible and you don't have any space there, you can move your foot away from your body. It might create a little space for you, and you'll understand what we're talking about here. In and out.
In and out. And yeah, as I've gotten older over the last 6 years or so, my journey with emotions has been one of liberation, and coming to understand them is one of my greatest superpowers. And it takes practice to welcome emotions, to be willing to pause and sit with what is coming up and to name them. But once we do, there is so much wisdom in our emotions. They really are the communication from our bodies, our minds, our hearts. And we always have a choice whether or not we want to listen to them, sit with them, work with them.
Emotions can be like the death of you, or like you're saying, they could really inform you, and they could almost guide you.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm coming to learn more recently, really, and that's been a big game changer for my emotional intelligence. Let's switch sides.
Do you have any tools that help you when emotions come up?
Yeah, and for any guys out there, if you've experienced anger, frustration, if you get upset,
You are emotional.
those are emotions. And so we like to think that like, oh, we don't have emotions or we don't show emotions, right? But we do. So for me, recognizing and just the awareness when I get stirred up, right? When something comes up, something that's triggering, just being able to understand like this is an emotion, and it's coming from something, right? Something that's triggered it. And so for me, being able to sit with that and know, and that's an opportunity to learn from it. And then also another tool that's been awesome is using the breath. A big inhale through the nose, and on the exhale, long and drawn out, and I say the words in my head, letting go. And this has been, it seems insignificant, but super helpful for me.
Let's go ahead and come out of this position. Find a comfortable seated position. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, find a twist. Left hand to right knee, right hand behind you as a second spine. Inhale, grow the spine longer and taller. Exhale, twist open to the right side. Yeah, the power of the pause with emotions. And I love how you said just naming them, recognizing them. It's really interesting to me how we have come to see certain emotions like anger or anxiety as negative and bad, when in reality, there's no bad or good emotions. They are all energy in motion moving through us, showing us something, communicating something, and they will pass, each and every one of them. And there will be a different one before we know it.
And that's the really powerful thing, actually, is if you sit and watch them, they will go. And like Brooke said, another one will come.
Go ahead and switch sides.
And so that alone can make you question, what are these emotions? You know, and should I let them control me if they do come and go so fast?
Yeah, and if sitting with emotions sounds intimidating to you, which I think for everyone at some point in their life, that does sound like a really uncomfortable, big unknown, begin by breaking it down, getting used to noticing what's coming up. I like to pinpoint my emotions as a physical experience as well. For me, anxiety, tightness in the chest, getting it out of the heady world of the mind where we try and rationalize and fix and solve, and moving it down to the heart and the body and feeling what is actually happening for me with these emotions that come up.
Sensation.
Feel it.
Thanks for joining us today.
Feel those feels. If anything came up for you, we are here to talk, to process, to listen. We appreciate you.
Until the next dose. That could be like the intro.
Dope.